friends, welcome back to At Home with Chic and Grace. So we are making strawberries today. I'll show you what I have done, and then we're going to make one more piece that goes with this with a really cute insert. Holder for the insert. You'll see in a second. Okay, so these are the ones, the rectangle ones that fit into, well, the rectangle frames, and I don't have one sitting here with me, but you've seen them. I've got just the regular square ones. I've got a scallop one with 3 layers of scallops, and I do have 2 new rectangle scalloped ones coming soon. So these just pop right into there. Okay. Then we have this really cute shelf sitter. So it's adorable. I'm loving this, and I'm loving the color combination. I don't do red, so I chose to make these more of a pinky color. So this is the tiered tray set. So this can fit into the cute little plain frame or the square scallop frame. I've got, I think, 2 different versions of those. The banner, I haven't put it together yet. And then this round will fit into the round scalloped frame. And there is, I'll put the right side up, a cute little leaner. And then this can be part of this tiered tray, or it can be separate. It can be a tag to hang places. It can sit in a little easel. This could sit in an easel, so could this. But this is the back, and you can glue that on, and then it can be a cute gift card holder. So you see the gift card slides right in there. So it can go like on a gift as a tag kind of thing. So I haven't glued it on because I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's 2 layers glued together. I just wanted to show you, and then you can decide what you want to do with it. The next thing that we have is the door hanger. And now I haven't decided on a bow or ribbon. I actually don't even know if I have any that matches this, so I may have to go shopping to find that before I finish editing the photos that I will take. Alright, so I'm just going to clear this up, and then I will show you what we are going to make. Okay, so I also have a new scalloped bench for the tiered tray pieces to fit on. Haven't done it yet either. It's coming, it's coming. So we are going to do some strawberries so you can see how everything looks before you start to paint and we take it out of the template. Obviously we're doing strawberries because that's what everything else was I just showed you, but these are going in a truck. So I've got parts of this truck here because we're going to make this truck double-sided so that you don't have to commit to just one color, because if you're anything like me, you want one color one time and another color another time. So I think I'm going to do one side of this white, and then I actually don't know what I'm going to do on the other side. So if you decide to order this kit, it will come to you with this scoring only on one side. Everything still fits on here, you just won't have the score lines, if that makes sense. Alright, so we're going to paint this together. Well, I'm going to assemble it off camera because you don't need to watch me painting all of these little pieces because it's kind of, you know, it's just repetitious. And you're going to see me base coat a little bit of this, so you don't need to watch me base coat all of this. But anyhow, I should probably show you, this is like the license plate that will fit in this part, and it will Velcro in and out. so you'll be able to easily pop it in and out. These are all the layers for it. And then once the truck rail is on here, oh, I've got it upside down. Once the truck rail is on here, then your strawberries are gonna pop right in here in the window. So it's gonna be really cute. Now, if the truck isn't your thing, there's gonna be a couple different breadboards coming out, but this breadboard goes on an easel just like you've seen me do before, and the license plate fits in here, and then we make a little shelf with our layers, and then the strawberries pop down in there. So I will show you how this works in both of these pieces. All right, I'm gonna just put those to the side. We're just gonna quick go over colors that I used to make this, and then I'm gonna show you a smidgen of base coating. It's all the same in all the videos, so I am just gonna show you like a tiny little bit in case you are new here. All right, so colors that I have used are Fusion Mineral Paint. I use this a lot, so if you're new here, I use almost always Fusion Mineral Paint, but I do use a little bit of Decor Americana. So this is Peony, and then I used the Decor Americana Peony Pink, but I mixed it with Casement to get that lighter color. And then we also, the white that we use is Casement, and buttermilk cream. And I'm still using up the last of my Bellwood out of my jar. So this is Fusion Mineral Paint as well, Bellwood. And then you don't have to have this. This is just if you were wondering what I stained the back of the pieces with, because I always finish the backs and I usually do a stain. So I just grab my Iron Earth. I just wanted something not brown. So that is what we used. And so about that much. I know it's not accurate. And every time I mix it, it's not exactly the same, but it's close enough. Okay. And then I just grab a little stick here, and I've just taken out like that much. All right, let's just quick do the strawberries. So anything that you're gonna do white, like if you were doing the back of this white, in fact, you might want to do this anyhow. You can just see a little bit of the charring. Just take your sander, sand it off. Anything that's going to be white, because white is always harder to cover. The rest of this, you don't have to worry about because it covers really good. I paint with sponges, makeup sponges. You're going to load your makeup sponge. You can't see, I'm sorry, it's off camera. I'm just offloading it. I'd move it, but I've got so much stuff on it. So how about I do it here for you? Offload as much as you can onto your palette, and then up and down motion. You don't want heavy paint, otherwise it goes down into the cracks. And then it can stick in there and be hard for you to get out of your template. But also, then that's the whole reason why I give you these wood templates, is so that you keep your sides of your pieces nice and clean. So you will get a little bit coming over the edges because these ones aren't in a template, but the rest of them are nice and clean, and this sands off easy. But you don't want to be sanding off of these. See, I did get a little bit of paint right there because my Bellwood was a little thick, And I should have thinned it out before I started painting, so it kind of got down in there on me, but I can sand that off, or I can just leave it. Okay, so 2 coats of everything is pretty much all you need. So, and then I usually do 1 coat, and then I will sand everything lightly, do my 2nd coat. So you see like the little daisies here? I will probably sand those before I start to paint. Okay, one more thing. Because I use 1/4 inch wood for everything, because we have a really hard time getting any good 1/8 inch wood around here, the centers are also of the flowers will be 1/4 inch, and they will stick out. So what I did with these ones is I didn't actually use the centers, I just painted the centers in. But I did use it on like the bigger ones because that's cute. And I did use it on the little banners because they were only 2 layers. But as soon as you start getting into 3 layers, sometimes I like it and sometimes I think it's too much. So you can just use your own judgment, and I will include those in, but I am painting mine like this. All right. Everything is dry, and I've started taking, well, I took this out, and I'm going to show you why, and we're going to take everything else out, and we're going to dry brush, but I want to show you something. So, a couple things. So, I've got this white on the other side, and we're going to assemble the other side together. I painted this side in Champness, and because like I don't do red, so I painted these with that pink, not really loving them. I actually think I'm going to take these and paint them. Well, they might, I'm not sure. I stained these, and then this is like 3 layers of stain with some dry brushing on it. But I think I'm going to have to go over these, and I'm just going to keep them all the gray. I'm liking the gray, and this is cute for summer, but I know that I'm going to use this blue in the winter time, and this just looks too bubblegummy for me. Okay, so I just got to grab the other piece here. What I also did was I modified this truck here as I was painting and getting everything ready, because this is the breadboard and it's simply painted white. Okay, and then I was going to paint the back, that's why I painted this, and then I decided to just stain it. So anyhow, doesn't matter really what you do the back. I just like to finish the back some way. Okay, so when this is done, this pops in here, okay? And there's a smidgen of wiggle room on it, but that's actually a good thing. It's better that there's a smidge of wiggle room on it. Because if you're painting and your paint gets too thick, then you don't have to worry too much about it. Okay, so I told you before that this has, you Velcro these in. But then if you are using this board, or there's a cute little camper that we're going to make at some point, there's a couple other of these boards that all of these inserts fit into. You don't want Velcro on the back. So I cut a hole. Well, then I realized, well, it can't just sit in there. So then I cut this frame to put on there. And I actually really like this. Now, one more thing that's going to happen is if this is the truck sitting up on the stand, it would be fine. But this truck hangs on our signpost hanger or in a door or something. So our little squares, inserts that we have that we magnet in when they are hanging, will be done the same way. So this will go on the back of here, and then there will be a magnet or a washer, sorry, on the other side of this, and then that will hold it in. Does that make sense? And then that way, if you want to move it around to different pieces, you can. So that is what I've done. Okay, and I'm just going to quick show you how I'm dry brushing, and then I'm going to finish the rest of the dry brushing. We'll come back once it's all glued together, and we will do some highlighting, like comma strokes, okay? So all of these need to come out. Now you can leave these in to dry brush. I prefer to take them out, and I'll show you why. You do have to be a little bit more careful with the words in your smaller items, but I prefer this because when you dry brush them outside of this little template, you get the dry brushing hitting the edges of the words more, and it just makes for a better highlight. But by all means, you can leave them in and dry brush, but that guy got a little bit of paint down the side, I think, because he's stuck in there. If you ever get it stuck, just gently. Yeah, see, I got a little bit of paint there. We can sand that off. Actually, I wanted to show you where to put it. Oh, here it is. When you want to get into really tight places, these tiny little nail files work so good for getting into those little places. I mean, he's not going to get all the way in there, but he's going to get enough gone that you don't see it. Okay, and then I just use something, you can use a stylus to just pop any of those guys out. Get all the pieces out of our letters. Okay, so I'm using casement, and for my bigger pieces, and when I do the truck on the blue side, I used a big chip brush like this, and sometimes I'll even use like a paintbrush, like this is a Bennett paintbrush. Actually, I've been using this, but it's drying right now. So the one thing with Fusion Mineral Paint is that you need to clean these brushes right away because that paint dries rock hard in there. So have a paper towel beside you, and you are wiping off as much as you can. I know you can't see it coming off because I'm rubbing white on white, so get yourself a fresh piece of paper towel if you need. But you see there's nothing coming off on there anymore. Now, you're not really going to see this on the pink because this is really light pink. And all I'm trying to do is hit the edges. I mean, going over the whole thing, but you really are paying more attention to the edges. And you'll see that as soon as I can get onto one of these pieces that has some more color. On the smaller pieces, I use this angle brush or any old chippy brush like that. I like to put my leaf in there and kind of hit this all at the same time. You do have to hold it together. So, and just be careful when you're dry brushing your pieces outside, like outside of the template, because especially those stems, you know, they're going to be a little bit more fragile. So you can see how it's hitting the edges a little bit more here and creating a real good highlight. Okay, guys, isn't that looking so sweet? Like, it's so adorable. The license plate obviously doesn't go on the breadboard, but that just sits right in there. And then these sit out, and then you have the little hole in behind to help take it out. All right, let's put that guy to the side, and then we're gonna start assembling our white side of the truck, and we'll get our comma strokes done on these, but I just wanted to show you how it's looking so far. And then this will Velcro onto here. And in the kit, you will get the Velcro. You will also get the magnet, the round piece, and then the washer that will go on here, so when it's hanging it will stay together. We are going to dry brush with our Iron Earth stain, the same stain that we've been using. So I have a little bit on my brush. Actually, it might be dry already. Oh, there's a little bit. And I just want this to be very, very light. I don't want the whole piece to be done. Just gonna pull in from the edges. Because then we're gonna glue this on. So you have to put this piece on, and you can see by the score lines where to put the rail. So, and then that gets glued right on there. Okay, so let's start gluing, because then this can dry while we're doing some comma strokes, and then I can show you the finished piece. So make sure your edges are nice and lined up. Okay, as close as I can get. This is an ultra script liner. Like, I don't know, it's got like 10 hairs in there. So let me get a little dish here. You're not going to be able to see that. Okay, this is dry paint. So I'm dipping into water. I'm dipping into my white paint. And then you might need a little bit more water. You do not want this too runny. Okay, and then I'm going to roll my paintbrush off of there. So, push down, go with the curve of the strawberry and pull up. Okay. A little bit more water, a little bit more paint. I'm going to do a little comma stroke on the inside of the daisy. The stem, just going to get a little guy. Sometimes you can get 2 comma strokes before you have to reload. Move your piece around. When I'm doing my leaves, sometimes I give it kind of like a little S squiggle, like a little S motion. So, okay. Then let's put a bigger one here. Now it started to drag on me. I need more water and or paint. I'm okay with the way that one looks. You can wipe it off. You can also very carefully, we need more water, go back in. Sometimes you can go back in and sometimes you just make a mess. Okay, that worked. So, I'm going to do a second one, just inside and down, following the curve of the strawberry. I feel like I've got way more control doing this rather than pens, and honestly I can't find pens that are fine enough that give me a comma stroke that I like. So I like this, but I've been doing it like this for years and years and years. We'll put another one at the bottom. Okay, so we're going to repeat everything on this one, except on the stem we are going to add a couple more, one on the tip. Let's go one here, and you're following the curve. Might have gotten a little curvy on that one, but that's okay. This one, I'm going to go the opposite way. Okay, see how pretty that is? A couple things that I just wanted to note. Did you notice that every time I rest my finger down? So like when I'm up here, my finger is down so that I can get in there. Otherwise, I put my whole side of my hand down. So if you're doing this just up in the air like this, you're going to get more wobblies. So that'll make it a little harder. Okay, so I'm just going to quick do these, and then this should be dry so that we can come back and see what everything looks like together. So let's see what it looks like in here. My bumper moved a smidge. I was being so careful. I don't have my Velcro in front of me, so I'm not putting the Velcro on. But oh, I gotta move the camera again, sorry. I didn't dry brush down here either. Completely forgot. So, and I've already washed this brush out, but I've got a little bit of white paint here, so I'm just gonna quick do that. my ribbon. You'll see what goes on here. And I will style up this white side and this side and the breadboard for you as well in photos with all the other pieces. And then another time you'll be able to see what the blue side looks like when we get some more inserts that will coordinate with that. That'll probably be more Christmas and winter. However, I do decorate with blue for the summer, blue and white, so you never know what I might come up with for that. But okay, let me know what you think in the comments, and we will see you next time. Bye.